just sort of cleans himself off, tries to look chill in front of the dudes who are all chilling. He's just like, don't. He like pulls Archie a little bit and he's like, don't do that. Let's not do that. Please.
Yeah, you think luckily, because of, I mean, the good thing about Valentina's attempt to kind of intimidate them off, you believe your social standing in the current hierarchy of popularity within the school has only gone down slightly. And you think it's gone down slightly, not because you fell, but because you're hanging around with Valentina, who, because of their failed provoke opportunity, is now has kind of set themselves apart as the outcast away from the jock crew. So, haha, social repercussions, prepared to be outcasted by your peers.
Damn.
Wouldn't be the
Prepare to suffer the eye roll traumas we all experienced in-game. It's what we like to call fun, because it's a game. Freezes uncomfortably for a long time, staring dead into the camera with a thumbs up.
We all have to be like dead silent for 5 whole minutes. You gotta leave that silence in.
I'll leave that bit. It's hysterical.
It's just like,
Sorry, that.
Yeah. And he just sort of wanders away a little bit.
Yeah.
Feel bad.
Sorry, Atlas. It's very sad. There are a lot of students here. You can see that there's an awning that protects where you guys can put your baggage and it won't get wet. So you can kind of drop off your labeled baggage in that vicinity. In fact, as you approach it, you actually see that there are actually supervisors and adults here. You just didn't catch them with your first glance. There is a crew of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 individuals who are gathered here in various capacities, one of whom clearly seems to be in charge. And they walk up and they do a motion with their hand, and you can see the air move around them, and it actually reflects and not reflects but deflects some of the water droplets in the area with the magic air that they're moving around their hand. And they kind of culminate it and tie it around with a quick, they just rotate their fingers kind of to tie it into a knot, and they bring it towards their lips, and then they blow, and it makes a loud whistle sound.
Ooh.
Oh.
I was very impressed.
Archie's gonna shake Atlas a second and go aren't you taking the air track? I want to see.
I know 0 magic, so, but I don't want Archie to know that. So I just go it's too powerful. You wouldn't be able to handle it.
Whoa, really?
I'm lying through my teeth because I don't want to disappoint.
He totally believes him.
Atlas, you see that this woman who casts the spell that is so powerful, is wearing one of the sports jock jerseys. This is an older student of the school, right? This entire team is full of older students, probably in their final 3 years of Arcana High, and it is the uniform for the school team that I need to remember the name of, because the Harbingers are the big team for the region, right? Because that's the one you got the jersey for. So I think it's the Reapers are the official school team. And so she's wearing a black and white, I forget what it's called. It's not jersey. It's the
Letterman jacket, bomber.
Yeah, that's the Letterman jacket. And it's got custom patches sewn all over it to tell basically a story over time. And she is accompanied by a colorful crowd who, I'm not going to get into the specifics of what they all look like. They're all in vague uniform, and half of them, correct that, they are all wearing similar Letterman jackets, some of them also with patches, some of them with no patches. This seems to be all members of the Reapers, which to you is a big deal.
I immediately get super hyped.
Because you know that each one of those teams has 9 members, and there are 3 Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6 people here. So all but 3 members of like one team's worth of people are here. Now you know they always have standouts generally. So teams are usually a bit bigger. They're more like 13 people per team. So you can have some people to switch in and out. But still, that's about half of them right here that are or have been members of the school team. And she says, "Everyone, listen up. I am your resident assistant for the day. I'm going to be guiding you all up to the school, if I can remember the name of it. Hold on. This is out of character me. Domus de Air. I'm going to be guiding you all up to Domus de Air et Folger on top the mountain. It'll be a bit of a journey. So your luggage, please, if you haven't already, make sure you bring it to your other RAs here. My lovely friends and assistants. They are going to fly your luggage up to the school. It'll be there for you when we arrive. I'm also going to be your RA for the entire school year, able to help you with any questions. We'll go over more of that in a direct orientation when we get there. And then she'll say, to reiterate, again, I am your RA, Allison Cross. You can all call me Alice. And these are my friends, and she kind of points to each of them in turn. Virginia Florence, we call them V. Natalia Sinclair, that's Nat. Over here we have your boy Nicholas Stormwind, that's Klaus. Over here, Edgar South, we call him Ed. And of course, the great and almighty Spank, Spencer Stormwind. Careful for those brothers, they can cause a bit of a mayhem with their pranks. So definitely check your luggage for any surprises. You never know what they might hide in there to spray you with glitter or some nonsense, which you better not have. I will report you. And she points back to the Stormwind brothers, and they make gestures like, no, not us. And there's a laugh shared between them. And she says, I'll now make sure that everybody's here, and then proceeds to do like a roll call. And everyone is in fact here. She says, perfect. So again, get all your luggage over, and then we will begin our ascent up the mountain. You will all be following me through the shockwoods, and then up the mountain. You will all have to keep a very close single file line. Nobody stray far from the path. Stay with the group, especially with the storm. It's going to be increasing in activity probably on the way to the mountain. It should clear by the time we're actually at the mountain itself. But we don't want to lose any students on the forest path. All right? And then she gives everybody the time to do their thing, which I'm assuming you all do. And we'll begin to lead everybody into the woods as you see your luggage being picked up and carried by people on broomsticks and flying carpets and all sorts of weird devices. Like somebody just takes the staff, like not even a broom, a staff, and uses it like a hoverboard. And they literally stand on it and like surf through the air, carrying various pieces of luggage.
Archie's gonna lean over to Atlas and go, "Can you do that too?"
Well, obviously he's going through with this lie, and as like they start flying away on like the carpets and brooms and stuff, Atlas calls out the makes and models that he can recognize a little bit loudly, hoping that John and his gang can hear.
Like they did before, and they grilled you on.
Look, second time's the charm.
Second time is not the charm for you, unfortunately. They are more interested in spooky, scary forest and the fact that they were told not to cause trouble. So they're just kind of getting ready to follow Alice, and they're clearly staying far in the back. They don't want to be in the general vicinity of the RA, which is also where you can see Weird Magnet Girl is kind of hanging out in the back, just by happenstance. Lab Coat Science Girl is way up at the front, like front and center, first one in line.
I want to call out to the Magnets girl first. I guess I see her in the back, and I just kind of like, I'm like, hey, come on.
Yeah, and then he just goes zap, zap, zap with his fingers, like the little motions. Zoom, 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 zoom. But it doesn't obviously create electricity. It just kind of like, he just does a silly little hand.
Yeah, it takes them a second to even notice you're talking to them, because one, there's a bit of distance between the two of you, and two, they have like headphones on. They've completely tuned out the entire outside world. So they're literally just, the only reason they know to follow the group is because they saw the group move. That's why they're kind of in the back. They did not listen to a single thing that Allison said, and nor anything you said. And they give you just the slightest like acknowledgement that they noticed you, with no response.
Damn.
Just
That's
from the back.
The last time I think they sent a magnet toward. Progress is progress.
Yeah, last time they tried to zap you.
Last time she tried to zap me, so I mean, progress is progress. Maybe we'll be friends someday.
That's your one mission in life. That's like the overarching quest that like every session's gonna be like, all right, what's our to-do list? Befriend Magnet Girl. God damn it. Always roaming in the different.
Learn her name.
You guys follow the trail, and this is kind of where the dense foliage aspect comes in, and time begins to pass. It begins to get later into the night as you travel through the forest and gradually up the mountain, which the first part of the mountain is also the forest, right? So it's kind of one continuous path in this dark and stormy like evening, effectively. You could hear all sorts of noises from the woods. These are some scary woods. Just the way the wind runs through the trees almost makes it sound like screams in the distance. Like this woodland just seems haunted. I would like you all to make for me willpower rolls.
Atlas has awful willpower. Give me a sec.
To see how you respond and feel about the nature of this trek through the increasingly gloomy, screaming forests with eyes in the shadows that you can see kind of watching you. Like, the farther you go, the more foreboding this place becomes.
I got a -1, but I want to contest that.
All right.
Because I feel like Atlas is growing up here. You know, he's aware of these woods. They wouldn't spook him too bad.
Give me some more. What can we say? Is there like an aspect of yours or of the current scene, or like a stunt that you can kind of invoke here?
Let's see.
Your personal aspects so far are Golem Retriever.
It would be funny to have him be freaked out by, like, he's just always been freaked out of this.
But like this is kind of like your home environment. So you know what? I'll say you can spend a fate point for, I guess, a dark and stormy night. That's the existence
that's
of this
every
place.
night here.
Right. So you're invoking the fact that that's not an unusual sight for a local. So you have 2 down. You're down to 2 fate points. You may either re-roll or take a +2.
I'm gonna re-roll. Watch me roll worse. Watch me roll worse.
All right, same as a +2.
Yeah.
All right, kind of works out. Valentina, would you like to do anything for your roll? Or are you good with a 0?
I already rolled them. Valentina has a 0.
Winnie, are you good with a 0 for Valentina, or is there anything you'd like to do to try and increase that roll?
I was gonna take the 0.
All right, good. And oh my God, Archie, what the hell?
Archie is fearless.
You crit? That is so uncommon.
For such a minor role.
Jesus. Yeah, Archie, so this should be kind of terrifying, right? To like an ordinary person, but you're used to basically like living virtually near the streets. The city you're from is by no means safe, right? And you're constantly exposed to that in the general vicinity of where you grew up. Your city's one of the ones that has like a bit of a higher crime rate, because a lot of the people there, because they're elemental infusions, tend to also be naturally more violent. You're also used to much scarier things, like volcanic eruptions, and things like that. And you're used to a constant sound of machinery that sounds like thunder pounding on the walls. So to you, the storm isn't really phasing you.
He's kind of he's in it, like he's really like he's like dancing in the rain a little bit. He's kind of like twirling around and he's like laughing because
It's
nothing
mood
that
setting. It's a place you've never been before.
He's so appalled by it. Like his heart is like pounding in his chest, but not in the scared way, but he's excited.
You've never been inside a forest. Like, that is pivotal. Like, there's no forest around where you grew up. Well, actually there is, but it's more of like a jungle. This is a different kind of forest. And you didn't really live on the jungle parts. Valentina.
Yes.
You take 1 point of mental stress. I assume you just want to take out your first mental stress box?
Yes.
Click. So you're a bit shaken. This place is not as peaceful and loving as the woods you grew up in. You're used to a forest of pristine beauty that even when it rains, it is as if the land itself glows with magic. This place is just dark and depressing that you are walking through, and you're used to hearing when you hear creatures in the woods, it's like, oh my god, it's a cute little wolf, or there's a bird in the distance, I can hear him chirping. And here it's like, oh my god, is that somebody dying in the forest?
Yes.
Right? So you're shaken up a bit. This is like taking everything that like you've effectively held dear a little bit. Because I imagine for you, the forest were probably a bit of like a safe spot. A lot of the extended family lived closer to the forest. It was a bit off the farm. And then here, this is just a perversion of all that which you hold dear. This is a horrendous place that reeks of foul energy.
Bad vibes.
Yeah, you're not getting a good vibe from this. You have this innate feeling just in your gut that magic has been misused here before. There has been immoral uses of magic in this area. You don't know why you feel that. You know.
This place spooky.
Spooky. Eventually, though, you are able to clear the trees and you emerge on the other side. And luckily, the storm has begun to clear. So as you begin to work your way up the mountain, it stops raining on you guys. And the wind slowly crawls to a relatively slow pace for the region. Still pretty active. Still a lot of wind up here, especially the higher you get. But nonetheless, the remainder of the trip seems to be mostly uneventful. You throughout the whole journey, you can tell most of the students were at least a little bit shaken. If they weren't from the local region, for example, Iris Fields, they clutched their lab coat a bit tighter around them, and the moment they're up here, they're looking out in the distance. They're excited, and all that energy's returned. Same with like John Rear and his buddies. They stopped roughhousing, and they were clearly like trying not to show off as being scared, but they were clearly all a little bit shaken, just a little. From the noises because they're big wusses. But they're back to being their rambunctious selves now that you guys are going up the mountain. And Magnet Girl seems like the most exceptionally overwhelmed. You feel if it wasn't for John Rear and his gang actually being a little bit scared, there might have been a little bit of conflict between the two. There was actually a moment during the journey where they kind of bumped into each other, and you felt that, oh my god, something might break out, but nothing did. Both because of Ari's supervision, and people were just spooked. People be spooked.
It'd be scary here in
and
this forest.
Up here from the mountain, you can see more of the land around you. I can actually open... Here we go, map. You can see more of the land around as you climb up the mountain towards the campus above. You can see its floating towers that rotate around it. You can see... I guess not necessarily rotate around it, but float near it. I have like a prototype version of what it looks like, at least. And you can see as well, you can see glimpses of what appears to be various different kinds of stadiums in the woods on the other side of the mountain from town. Atlas, you recognize one of them as the local stadium for Skyball.
Yeah, Skyball.
Winnie, one of them looks very familiar to you, to a stadium that was kind of near to where you grew up, because Skyball is actually not the most beloved sport in your home region. You do have a family member that is interested, but the main sport of your homeland is a game called Labyrinth, and so you can kind of see a version of that here, where it looks like a spooky hedge maze of an arena in the distance that seems to move and change shape, even though you can only glimpse it on the horizon. It kind of sticking out of the trees. So these biodomes are really huge. They do have a legitimate amount of environment to explore. and also where there's structures. So back there, obviously, you have a lot of various different places for the sport activities when people come into town, not just for the school, but for the biodome itself, right? It's shared for the entire biodome because the schools are so well integrated into society that they are used for actual sports teams as well. And eventually you guys reach the peak of this mountain where you ascend the long and winding steps towards the entrance establishment. The front building you see is kind of like this giant Gothic cathedral with giant mosaics that are blue and yellow and white as their kind of primary colors in the mosaics, with the main structures being all gray, like a dark brown and black. And this cathedral connects to the outer walls of the chamber that all connect to, like, there's a tower in each corner that is tapped with the typical, like, battlements of kind of a castle arrangement. It's the floating towers that have the wizard cap. One of the towers has, like, a wizard cap, and the other one has what looks to be like a domed cap, like some sort of observatory tower. And you can kind of see the glimpses of buildings that extend from or the walls are connected to that are, again, various, like, Gothic castle construction. You can also see in the distance a bit of what appears to be, like, some walls around a series of greenhouses attaching to one of these buildings. And you can sort of glimpse past some of the archways in the wall the courtyard that lays beyond. You can just tell that there is a courtyard that has various, pathways and grass and statues and fountains. In the distance, you can see looming, kind of from a certain angle, there's a clock tower near the back of the school. And you are brought into this front cathedral and through some hallways that are clearly like the great entrance to the school. And you are brought to a large, like, ceremonial dining hall where you unite with the remainder of the student body from your year, as well as from the 2 years above you. So kind of the first tier of your time at Arcana High. You guys all kind of have the same slot for your, like, little welcome feast. And you have a specific section for you guys to, like, kind of fill in. It's not exact assigned seating, but it's still, like, assigned by group. For example, your group. So you already know that your assortment of people that you have already met, you know are going to be the same people you have classes with, right? And there will be other people in your year that you just don't have classes with, based on just the assignment of your groups, effectively, right? And occasionally you'll get some crossover on that, but for the most part, it's, right, it's your particular group, and you guys are able to congregate into that hall, where you see that there's currently no food available, but they are clearly, like, getting ready to offer various meals in this great chamber that is full of light from the mosaic, now that the like sunlight that is beaming into the chamber from the realm beyond, effectively. And there's also, like, an area at the front of this room for like a podium, essentially, for various people. And as you all fill into your seats, what we can figure out later, like, kind of who you sit next to, there is a woman in not quite Gothic, I would say more like Victorian black attire, right? Like the big black dress, the hat, the iconic hat, to kind of match and fill it out. Again, all black, steps forward to the podium and begins to just usher some instructions, saying that, and everyone, please orderly take your seats, etc., etc. Your luggage. They just give some general information, right? Here's where your rooms are going to be, kind of thing. Some stuff you got to know, blah, 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 that I can skip because it's not necessarily important to the story, right? Generic, welcome to school, lessons, things you need to know, like code of conduct kind of stuff, right? They go through all that jazz and what you guys should expect or remember if you are a recurring student here at Domus. DR et Folger. I remembered it that time. And then they make way for another woman who is dressed in like a similarly, like, more like old-fashioned aesthetic black suit, but like tailored for a woman. And she's got a top hat that has goggles on it, and she's carrying a really cool like magician's cane. That's like just all sorts of decked out in similar assortment. She takes the podium and she's quickly introduced to you all as your principal, or not quite principal. There's an actual title for it, not archmage. There's a thing for it. It's like high mage, I think, maybe something like that. This is effectively the school headmaster, and they are Victoria Bronzeworth. So they're the one kind of in charge, right? They're the big one in charge. They also have political power, so deal with that as you will, because the education and the government are intertwined in this world, for better or for worse, exceptionally so.
We love political intrigue.
Yup.
That's not gonna come back to haunt us at all.
That's not gonna matter for probably a few more years.
We're preteens. What do we know about government?
And she welcomes you all to the school, and she wishes you all your spookiest year here at Domus Dier at Folger. May you all have a time that is filled with inquiry and curiosity, as well as mystery and intrigue. Things that the school stands for. There's like a whole spiel she goes on about knowledge and the pursuit of the unknown, and kind of the spirit she hopes that you will all come to, the school spirit that you will all come to encompass, which is heavily based on that, the concept of to know.
Archie, I like to imagine throughout the entire thing, Atlas is trying his hardest to look like he's paying attention, but he is thinking about Skyball so hard.
You're looking around the room trying to gauge your competition.
No, he's just daydreaming about the last game that the Harbingers played. He's not paying attention
at all. Yeah, that's pretty fitting. Iris Fields is the exact opposite. They're doing nothing but paying attention. In fact, they're taking notes on the orientation. Like they're full on like color coded with glitter pen style notes about the code of conduct and the school spirit.
Archie's gonna lean over her shoulder and say, "That's pretty cool."
Thank you. It's always good to be prepared. And she pushes her glasses back up her nose, even though they were already all the way up her nose. You think it's a learned gesture that she is unable to stop on repeat.
I feel like he would just boop her nose.
There's a brief squeal, just like, and she kind of recoils a little bit.
He laughs for a second, and then he's just like, "Oh man, I can't wait to see what kind of stuff we get into, man."
She says, yeah, me too. And then she just looks away. She's blushing so hard.
OMG.
Okay, really?
Playground. They're holding hands on the playground.
And then she tries to wipe it off her face, and then goes back to her notes, and if more fervently, and they get slightly messed up, and it gets her irritated. And then she tries to fix it, and you just know like she's just flustered.
Can he help her a little bit get unflustered?
You think anything you do will make it worse?
Sure.
You're gonna make it worse? Do it.
I live for
What do you think? Are you carrying like whiteout or something?
No. Okay, so let's see what he's got in his inventory. See what we can do. Magical headphones.
I'm like trying to figure out how you, who canonically has written a letter with only 2 correctly spelt words, can do to help.
I feel like he would draw a smiley face in his hand, and then open his hand and close his, wave it. He said, "Mr. Handy says hello."
Yeah, at that point, she's just like not even, like you're not even in her radar of understanding. She is so like...
Sticky hand.
You're gonna sticky hand her notebook?
Yeah.
You're gonna throw a sticky hand at her face.
Yes.
I'm imagining you're sitting next to her, and her back is effectively turned to you because she's looking at the front of the room.
It's like Assassin's Creed, but it's a hand in his sleeve, and he just hurls it, and it smacks the side of her glasses.
But okay, she is actively looking away from you, though. How are you going about this?
I want to see if I can try to grab the glasses. If she's looking away from me, I have to turn my head a little bit, curve my hand, and then hit the sticky hand. Do his hand back and just slap the back of her head with it.
I like your cut, Gier.
I like your cut, G.
Yeah, you tap her. She's
like,
what? And she turns. And she says, "Yeah? What? And she sees you like holding and doing the little lasso thing with the sticky hand. She just looks at it and she looks at you, trying to process what just happened.
He hits her again, but this time either head or her glasses.
Why are you trying to steal her glasses?
You're bullying her. You're bullying
No, I'm
her.
not
This is
bullying
her. You're bullying her.
Make a shoot attack.
I'm not bullying.
Make a shoot.
Yeah.
Make a shoot attack.
You cannot say you're not bullying her when you're
You're
literally
literally. She's trying to take notes. She's flustered and shy, and you're like, "I'm gonna steal your goddamn glasses. You don't deserve to see, bitch." You got a -1. Would you like to spend any points on this in any way? Is there anything that you can invoke? I guess the scene has a bit new aspects. None that would really help you though. So I can just kind of delete those. And you don't know any of her aspects yet, so.
No, I'm prepared to help out if things go south. I just want you to know.
Wasn't there somebody else who also had a sticky hand?
Everyone here has a sticky hand.
Do you actually try and like grab their sticky hand with your sticky hand to stop it?
Yes.
No, I'm using a fate point.
You're gonna spend a fate point.
Well, what are you thinking of invoking? We need an aspect here that you can invoke. I don't think any of your current ones.
Mischief Maker. Called Mischief. It should be called Mischief Maker or something.
Need some workshopping. I think we'll figure it out when we hear it.
Rabble rouser.
What? Say again?
Like a rabble rouser.
I feel like that's still less aspect related because I feel like that already fits the niche, the bombastic bouncy boy, and doesn't apply to the current action that you are taking.
If you throw.
We'll have to think on it. I'm gonna say for now that I don't think there's anything you can invoke. Unfortunately, I think you're stuck with a -1.
Bruh. Okay. Yell on this one.
It's okay. If she gets pissed off, I got a method. I got an idea.
Unfortunately, she is very startled and off-put because of her flustering. So it does seem to be like she's not dodging or anything, right? And the aim seems to still be on point. Do you have a plan, Atlas?
So she gets hit with a sticky hand, right? Very upset, right? Does she look like she's about to cry or something? Like
she looks flustered and she was kind of confused and she literally turned around politely and is now about to being slapped in the face effectively. So the question is, do you intervene before the slap?
I want to intervene after the slap. She's got to take it to the face first. I'm sorry. In order So
it doesn't grab the glasses, Mercury. It doesn't latch on, or it's not able to pull them off her face because of the way they hook around her ears, and obviously, these big round glasses. But it does kind of just like dink her on the forehead a little bit. She's like, "Hey, what was that for?"
She's like, did you see this? He's like, I'm a great warrior, and then he like kind of rolls back and makes a motion with the sticky hand like it's a spear or something, but it really isn't. It's just a sticky hand.
It just droops. It doesn't even thrust.
Yeah.
He's just like, whew, whew, whew. And he said, I can't wait to do magic someday. I just want to shoot magic right out of my palms like this. And it's just the sticky hand, I guess, sticks to the back of someone's chair.
Yeah, you guys are all on benches, effectively. So, she just kind of looks at you with, like, wide eyes, and then, like, concerned eyes, and then just, like, shakes her head like it's an Etch-a-Sketch, and then turns back to her notes. And it seems like whatever favor you were gaining with her, you just, like, immediately lost all of it.
Okay, so
This is what I do. I just bully my friends, and then I'm surprised when people are like,
sad face. Okay. So I like to imagine I'm sitting like not directly like behind Archie, but near enough to see the fact that he's harassing some child, right?
Yeah. He's bothering a sweet innocent lab coat girl.
Yeah. Okay. Can I do like some sort of what's the insight sort of deal?
Empathy.
Yeah. Could I hit him with an empathy roll to see if I need to help repair relations between because Archie's an asshole. He ruined my shoes. I'm still very mad at that.
Oh
but
god.
like we're sticky hand brothers.
Yeah. Make an empathy roll to see what you think her
Okay.
emotional state is like.
Yeah, I'm not good at empathy, but I can try.
You got a +1. That's decent.
Yeah, that's
You have an understanding of it. That's pretty good. That's fair. That's a fair
roll.
roll.
So I'm looking over there. Does it look like Archie's hurt for making friend upset? Does it look like she's like he's such an asshole? He hit me with a sticky hand. Like what's going on here?
She seems to be shaken up by kind of like the whiplash of it. You can see her actively thinking to her, like, you can tell it's kind of caused a dilemma for her almost a little bit, because you think her opinion of Archie at first was like, you're really cool, I want to be around you a lot, and then you think her new opinion is like, oh, never mind, oh my god, you're so weird, you're like weird, like they're pressing it and then they're like, wait, but I liked him at first, so does that make me weird? And you could just see that going through their brain where they're like, am I the weird one? Like, they're having a dilemma. They're having an identity crisis.
This is so sad, alright? Atlas has had many an identity crisis, and he can smell one when he sees it, right?
Valentina's having one.
Everyone.
You just look around, Valentina's having one. Like,
not related to anything, Valentina's just having one in the corner.
Yeah.
But I want to...
You also feel like you feel like Magnet Girl, who you can kind of see with your empathy rolls, you're kind of just feel in the room. You feel like as the speech has come to an end, and they're about to explain like how you guys can get access to the food and stuff that will now be made available to you all. You can see that because the noise in this room has amplified significantly, they're like pushing the headphones against their ears.
Everyone here is not having a good time. So
yeah. And then John Rears being loud as all shit as soon as like the food arrives, like rising from the table magically, like as pieces of the wood split apart of these long Gothic banquet tables. There's these rising up like spin trays that magically replenish with different items. You think this is a very rare occasion, like availability. Usually they'll have like an actual cafeteria where you can get your meal or whatever for the day. But this is specifically a feast, right? This is the welcome feast, so they allow you guys to indulge a little bit.
Nice. But
on the finer.
As I was reading the room and everything and trying to help my bro out, to attempt using my silly high concept, obviously, of Golem Retriever. I want everybody to like me, right?
Yeah, you're paradoxical people pleaser.
I am associated with Archie. When Archie looks bad, I look bad.
Yeah, and Archie in this case is part of the problem for two people.
Yeah. So, like, can I, like, I guess, try and, like, talk to our good pal Iris. Try to be all like, hey, he's a bit quirky, but he means well. Maybe make a joke about the fact that he.
Actually, give me an in character. What does Atlas say to get her attention and talk to her? What do you say?
He's all like, does Atlas know her name?
No, you do not.
Yeah.
Only Archie does.
I'm gonna have Atlas lean in real quickly to be all like, hey, what's her name? The one with the glasses. The one you were just beating up?
Iris? Oh, I look beating her up. She's gonna be my best friend.
Well, it doesn't seem like she wants to be your best friend.
Yeah, Valentina, you see the widest eyes of alarm on her face because she can clearly hear everything that's happening behind her.
Oh man.
And he goes, we're not friends!
I am immediately trying to calm him down.
She buries herself in her books. Like, she opens up a book and just, like, full-on nose in the book. Like, she is as turned into like an orb as possible.
He just starts crying. He's like, I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna like hush Archie real quick and be all like, hey, Iris, was it right? I like your glasses, little little compliment there. I just wanted to say, he sort of leans in close so that Archie can't hear, and it's like
She's just shying away into her book, like barely processing you.
I just take a deep, calming breath, to calm myself more than to calm anyone else, and I'm like, he didn't mean it. Like, I mean, like, that Archie, he's just got kind of a weird way of showing that he cares for people, at least I think. He knocked me down into the mud and ruined my shoes, so I hate him forever. But that's also, like, my best friend. So, you shouldn't be mad at him for the way that he is. He's just, we're all real excited to be here. And then I grandly gesture around.
She is so befuddled and, like, just out of it. She's like, excuse me. And then she just grabs her stuff and then she shuffles over, and she just kind of disappears from the room. She goes and she finds, like, the bathroom somewhere, and she's gone. Poof.
I feel like that went well. Anyway, these chicken nuggets.
You gotta teach me how to be friends with people. Like, I've never had a real friend before. That's so cool.
I've had, like, millions of friends.
I hope we can all be friends.
Well, I'll be your friend if you want me to be.
Like we can be friends, but you all can't throw me in the mud anymore. That's not cool.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to make you fall in the mud. I just wanted to rough house a little bit.
Yeah, like I don't mind some rough housing, but these are I show off the 1-2 buckle my shoes again.
Oh my god.
They got little wings on them. They glow at the bottom.
I got the Apollo 11.
They got wheelies.
Exactly, they light up, they got wheelies, they got wings. Those make me the coolest kid on the playground.
Yeah, when you're actually showing it off, you do get a lot of, like, oohs and ahs from nearby students.
All about
John Rear, you can hear him briefly in the corner of your, like, peripheral vision. Not vision, but, like, auditory range. You can hear him boasting, like, that's nothing. My dad already pre-ordered me the new model.
I hear him say that, and I go like, "Oh, these actually are the new models."
Even though they're not.
No, wait, are they?
No.
He's
talking about the new model you got teased at, that was going to be capable of 2 steps.
Oh, 2 of them.
2 of them.
True, but he ain't even got the 1s though. How can he be bragging about the 2s? Anyway, I ignore that, but I shoot him a smile and a thumbs up, like, cool. We can be matching.
And then you go back to devouring your great chicken nuggets supply. Here at the grand feast of the Domus Diet. Domus Diet at Folger. God damn it. I gotta figure out what the actual short version of that school name is. It's fun to say, though. And eventually you will be given the register for your new set of classes. And eventually guided to your rooms, which we will talk about in another session, but I do want to tell you what your all classes are. For this current itinerary, when you receive your school schedules, kind of like on the way out, they file you guys out in groups and give you your proper documents that you need, that tell you where your classes are, what times they are, and who they're with, and what they are. You have 5 classes this school year. You have, as follows: transmutation, mineralogy, herbology, history, and physicality. These are the 5 classes that you are all required to take this year that you will be attending. And there's also an informational pamphlet on various extracurricular school activities that you will be able to peruse next session. That is all for today, folks. I hope you've had a good time. How do you guys feel? You are officially students at Domus die Air at Folger, the lightning and air campus of Arcana High. And your first day of school is tomorrow. Bum, bum, bum.